In this video, we're going to be watching 2 games of my Bastion Accord against Stellar's Minerva. In this mulligan, I kept the 2 Bastions because I'm going second and I'm going to need a Bastion a turn earlier compared to when you're going first, since you're going to discard it for Accord's skill. But I think I could have gotten away with returning the Bastion Prime, since I'm only going to need 1 Bastion in my turn 3 and I'm gonna have a lot of chances to draw into the other Bastion, so I'm going to need the other Bastion for turn 4 anyways. So yeah, I think I should have redrew the Prime so I could have more chances to get other units like Alden or Honetaria, or even better cards. In this matchup, I think it's tough because Minerva is a multi-attack deck. You want to stay at low damage, especially at early, but Bastion don't have early shield, especially we don't have the Owl. Grandeur Edge, you can only use it to guard if your Vanguard is Bastion. And if you have Embrace Dragons in deck, you can only guard it when you're on grade 2. So you get Cause the Lelerim and the Tassus. Both of these cards made Minerva really good. And since I'm going second, or the Minerva player's going first, his other column's gonna be able to hit over defensive because my Vanguard's only 8. So this is 18, it's 5k shield to guard. Luckily, I got a draw trigger from the drive check last turn, so it will be an easy guard. I draw into a critical trigger. I really don't like discarding triggers in Overdress, since you only have 12 cards that has 15k shield and the rest are 5k, but in Bastion the rest are grade 3s. Grandeur Edge is a really good attacker, but it also has shield, so if you call it, you're gonna have to choose. Do you want a big attacker or do you want the shield in hand? It's really tough for me to choose, and I discard Alden here, but I changed my mind after. I think I'm going to discard the Grandeur Edge. So going second, it's kinda depends on what you're against. Because if you're going second, you can stay at low damage against other decks. So you only have CB enough for Accord. But I think I expected to take a lot of damage here against Minerva, considering my hand. My hand is full of Bastions and I don't have much shield. Stellar puts 2 Persona Rides to Soul, which is okay since you can just get it back with Rare Limb. So even going first, Minerva can still do multi-attacks with Tassus and Angelica. I have to rely on a defensive to survive this turn. I only have a crit, and I won't be able to use Grandeur Edge to guard since I'm still on grade 2. Only 1 Chamomile in Soul though. And I think he doesn't have 1 in drop. So the max amount of attacks this turn is gonna be 4. But I only have few shield. So I have to rely on defensive if I want to stay at low damage. Tassos. Tassos is the first ideal attack. Since I'm second, Angelica column will be at 21 or 26. Yeah, 26 because there's Angelica name in soul. This attack is 15 and you will be able to call out a chamomile, which is gonna be 23. Yeah, I don't have a 10k shield guard, so yeah, I can only hope for defensive. And it's better to just take, since his other attacks I'm gonna have to use the 15k anyways. He did have a chamomile in soul, so he's gonna be able to do another attack. You can call chamomiles out by soul blasting them for a CB. It's hard. So in this game, I'm still using the Dark Strains, but I do end up replacing them with Rondalias. I think I'm gonna add more Embrace if I find more slots. Gets crit and I still have no defensive, so I think I have to PG this. Or I can use the cat. Yeah, I don't have PG, so I have to use the cat. And since I use the cat, I won't have soul for Dark Strain if I ever want to use it. So that's why I went back to Randalia. And I can even double. I also can't double Aldin. Ideally, you can use Dark Strain first, then you use the cat next turn, or in the same turn. But it's hard to pull off sometimes. And I won't be able to double Aldin here since I lack soul, so I settled for Honetaria. Here I should have called Alden, and I call Grandeur, unless I think that I just won't survive next turn. And I call Alden as well, just for Honetaria boost. Maybe I'm thinking that I have to finish him this turn. This is gonna be 23. And I get a heal, which is really big. It gives me a chance to get defensive. I think I should have checked my heals first before I called the Grandeur Edge. And if I called Alden first, I could have had a chance to draw another Honetaria or another grade 3 unit, which I could have just called instead of Grandeur to have more shield for next turn. Yeah, I should have checked my heals in deck to see if I could have healed. Nothing. Pretty much, I think if I survive this turn, I can finish him with Prime since he's at 4. But the problem is I have to survive. gets a chamomile of Tasus. He has 1, 2, and 3. This can have a lot of attacks this turn. This attack is going to be 16, 21, 31. 20k shield to guard. I have 4 or 5 triggers in hand. One of them is a draw. And I'm hoping for defensive. He's 25. Can call another one. Oh, and he attacks with Minerva first. This is 23, 28. So I can want to pass it, but I'll still have to use extra shield from the draw. Yeah, I think the Grandeur Edge would have helped a lot. This is 20k shield for one to pass. If one to pass it with Grandeur, and I'd have more chance to survive. It's gonna be standard, so my guard is still not enough. I choose to want to pass, or I'm thinking about guarding it for one to pass, but I'm checking my heal in deck. I think I have 2 heals in deck, so I think if I want to pass it, it won't matter. So I'm thinking about to passing it. Gets heal. It's also scary to pass Minerva, since they can just put it all to Vanguard since it restands. So that's game. So I should have not called the Grandeur, because you never know, on some games the enemy might not get the trigger. Yeah. In the second game, I'm going first, and I have 2 Hornetarias, a Forbidal, and Grandeur in hand, and a draw trigger. Here, I want to keep the Hornetaria since I want to have a full board with boost on turn 3, so I can have a strong push. But I think I should have withdrew the other Hornetaria, since I have Forbidal and I can just search another one. Bastion going first, you won't have the drives from Accord, but you're gonna get to Prime or your Persona Ride turn earlier, so it's really fast for the opponent. You can rush your opponent while he's on grade 2. And if your board has boost with Bastion, it's gonna hit a good number against grade 2s, since your units are 13k, it's gonna be 26, so it's harder to guard with boost. And that's without any of the power increase. Here I guard it because I wanna stay at low damage with Minerva, or against Minerva. Grandeur Edge counts as 2, and I got the Alden. In this situation, I like to attack with Vanguard first, since my opponent's Vanguard is only 8,000. So if I get a trigger, it's gonna be 23k, which is gonna be hard to guard since it requires 2 cards. Stellar calls out the Lelerim, so he can draw one. And he calls a Chamomile, which he will be able to put to soul with Rare Limb. Minerva players can actually do multi-attack on turn 2 if they have CB and a Chamomile in soul. And they have Thassos, since all they need is a Soul Blast in the battle phase. But he doesn't have CB. And he puts the Chamomile to soul. Gets crit, which is really tough, because I wanna be at low damage. I'm just checking what he discarded to see what's in his hand, or to confirm what's in his hand. So I get defensive, but I still have not enough cards to guard. Luckily I get heal, and he decides not to put the column to soul. So going first, 3 CB. I can call Alden here with Forbidal. And I have Persona Ride, so I have an option to not search Prime. So this is a situation where I could have just not used Prime. Think about it, because I can just call Alden and Honetaria, so I have a full board. So I was thinking about it, but yeah, I do decide on the Prime and Honetaria. I think here I should have called the Alden and Honetaria instead of getting a Prime, because I won't be able to utilize 3 of my CB, since Honetaria requires you to have 5 units to get the draw. And if I called an Alden there, I wouldn't have to call my Grandeur Edge. I will have shield for next turn. Get the restand. I like attacking with Alden first, because if they no guard the first attack, if you attack with Grandeur first, they cannot get defensive, and the Vanguard attack will be easier to guard. So I put him at 4. Depending on his hand, I might be able to go Prime next turn. But his hand size is not that bad. Stellar calls Angelica, and I check his soul. He has 2 Chamomiles, but he has a Lelerim, so he's gonna have a lot of attacks. I'm at 3 damage. And I hope for defensive. No defensive. He's gonna have another attack. So that's 1. This is 15. Yeah, this is the problem. Without Tao, you don't have 5k shield. So maybe I can add more cats to my deck, but I just don't want to risk not checking a grade 3 on Prime. GG. Heal and draw. So his Minerva is gonna be 43. This is tough. I don't have defensive, so his tiny attacks are still gonna hit. and he can make a column 2. Yeah, I just hope for defensive because to avoid the 5k guard attacks, since I don't have 5k. I could have saved my grandeur edge though for last turn. Would it have mattered? Yeah, maybe. But he would have he might have survived next turn. Yeah, I think I could have survived, or I had the chance to survive if I saved my grandeur edge last turn. That's all. Thank you for watching.